gamers, welcome to the PTGC podcast. My name is Gerard. Joining me are my other hosts, Gio and Mike. Say hi, guys.
What's up?
Hello.
Today's episode is a talk about the hidden rating system that all gamers have run into in any multiplayer game, the MMR systems. I know we've all had our frustrations and struggles with them, but wanted to go over what is MMR and our experiences with it. So, if you don't know, MMR is just an abbreviation for matchmaking ranking. This system is designed and was originally created for board games like chess to just evaluate the power level for each player and how to match them with competitive or comparative power levels. What have you guys experienced in MMR and how this translates to... Actually, you know what? Better question. What do you think MMR is to you?
A broken system. Do you want my opinion? You go ahead, Mike, because that was all I had to say about MMR.
All right.
That's it.
Okay. What MMR to me is, I mean, of course, there's so usually it involves me playing League because League has a hidden MMR and they run on an ELO system. But to me, it's just trying to, I guess, play people within the same ELO while having the same MMR. If you have, the lowest MMR, you usually get paired up with maybe, I won't say the lower tier, but just not very good teammates. And League seems to be very, I don't know how I would say it.
Busted.
Gio has a lot to say about it.
Gio is mad.
For me, it's like I am frustrated with it. I get it. I kind of get why, but like I get frustrated with it, and it makes me not want to play League because of it. But I'm a glutton for punishment, and I still keep playing. So, but I'm gonna pass this over to Gio because Gio has been waiting.
I mean, Gio already gave his answer. Gio said it's broken.
There's not much else to say about it other than just
elaborate.
All right. Go ahead.
Well, all right. I'll elaborate in the sense that I just think the way the system works, it's design flawed. That's just how I'm gonna say it. I feel like when you're in a certain rank, like say you're in gold, platinum, whatever you're in, if you go on a losing streak, your ELO dips, right? Your MMR rating takes a hit. And then, hey, I'm still plat, but then I get paired with low golds somehow and high silvers that I have to carry. But then the other team is still full of plat players. How do you explain that stupidity to me and tell me that system is designed to pair me up against people my level? No, you're pairing me against people my level, but you're giving me people that are below my level. And then saying, because you went on a little bit of a dip, a losing streak, this is, you got to show us you're still good enough. It's a lot harder when I got to backpack everybody. So I personally, I hate, especially League of Legends MMR. Absolutely hate it. I think it ruins rank system for me. I don't even want to play ranked right now because I'm so mad with that ranking system. And I don't notice it as bad as in Apex, I would say. But I definitely could tell the flawed system in it. I just think, for me personally, I think if you make it to a certain rank, no matter if you go on a losing streak or not, you should still be playing with and against the same caliber players. Period.
Okay, so the better question to you, Gio, specifically, what would be a solution? Can you provide a solution to?
I'm not the game designer or the programmer. That's for Gerard. That's the question for Gerard. Well, I just said it. I should always be playing against people that are the same rank as me. Even if I go on a losing streak, I should never be paired with golds or silver. Period. Even if they've been on a winning streak. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Because even if you're on a winning streak,
Right.
you might be all right. So, like, if you're gold, right? Gold 2, gold 3, you're playing great, right? You should be a plat player, right? Because MMR is stating that you're playing at the level of plat players, right? Then get in plat first. If you're not in plat, then I shouldn't be paired with you. Period.
But
I don't
the
care.
problem is when you go higher in rank, it's less
Mhm.
player base, and the longer the queue games are.
I don't care. I would wait to not be paired with scrubs
Maybe
than
you.
rather be frustrated and playing with scrubs, because then it ruins the gaming experience for me, puts me on a bigger tilt, and makes me not want to play the game.
I will
Okay,
say
That's just me.
Go ahead.
I will say this. So there are 3 things wrong with that logic. One, if you take out MMR, then people can pay and boost their way to ranks. That is not a fundamental of their skill. That is fundamental of someone they're paying to be on their account. Paying them to be plat. And guess what? Then they're going to be in your plat games. And especially since they don't have an MMR, they can't prove they deserve to be there at that point. So they'll be losing. And if they in plat 1, guess what? They're in all your plat games until they get out of plat. And worst case scenario is if they win one, they lose their losing streak and they get to stay in plat longer, because sometimes you get carried. So if you take out MMR and just only worry about rank, then you get stuck with Smurfs and you get stuck with boosters. That's what happens, especially in plat and lower.
Can I counter that point by saying that still happens even with MMR? Because it does. There's still boosting going on. There's
Here's the
still
thing, though.
Smurfs.
MMR is responsible for banning those accounts. It is easier to figure out people who are playing below their respective
And League
level.
is doing a terrible job of banning people.
I get ban notifications all the time, man. People, they're just not public on it with like other accounts like Battleline and everything.
You're talking about reporting. I'm
No.
talking about seriously banning a complete account. I've never seen a message where it says your report, some kind of discipline has been
I've seen it all the time. I get it all the time, especially for banning people that are leaving and griefing. Those happen all the time. But
the toxicity,
yeah. But like when I go like, hey, this person's obviously cheating or boosting because like they have 11 deaths and the other person, the top laner, is 11 kills. They solo killed them 11 times. It's like, okay, 11 may be too much within 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
That's our total noob.
Well, maybe that's what I got to start doing, is reporting them for dying all the damn time.
Yeah.
Because I know they're trying. I could see them trying. They're just really bad.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off.
That's what I'm saying. So the second flawed logic is without MMR, your rating is harder to describe, because the reason why Plat 4 and Plat 1 exists is not because, oh, these are all plats, you just have to grind your way up during that level. It's so to distribute the MMR between all the platinum players. You can't have one rank. You need to split it up into subdivisions so that your MMR, like the lower plats, are going to be vastly different than the higher plats, because their MMRs should be relatively lower end to the higher platinum players, okay, within that division. If you only focus if only platinum players can play with platinum players, then platinum 4 players will always bring down platinum 1 players. Always. I
didn't say remove MMR per se. Mike said it. I just agree with it. What I'm saying is,
did he just?
They need to figure out a better system. Period. Because the system, the way it's designed, I don't agree with it. I don't like it because it works more against you than it does in your favor.
Do you know what the system is? Do you know what system they run? Tell me that. Tell me the system they're running.
Do you know for League of Legends?
Yes.
No, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know how they break it down.
You don't know the system, but you're complaining about the system.
Because I play the matches and I see how the system is setting me up for failure more often than it is success.
It's not supposed to set you up for success. It's supposed to give you challenge. The point of an MMR is to make sure you are always challenged, regardless of your teammates. That's the reason why you go against people.
But being challenged and being set up for complete failure, like, for instance, I'm going to give you an instance. I have a team I'm the only plat player, right?
Okay.
And I get paired up with go 4, go 4, go 3, go 4, and everybody else on the other team. This literally has happened to me multiple times. Is all plat players.
Okay, fine. So
and I get it because technically those gold players are technically playing at a plat level, but they get slapped the hell out of that game because they're really not up to that level. They had a good win streak and their MMR climbed a bit, but they weren't supposed to be with that lobby. They just weren't.
There are enough players in the world, in the server, that even if it was random, you could possibly get all 10 people that have never played the game before. But it's also possible, if you randomly do it, that only your team is the worst team and the other team is good. Okay, if we just focus on MMR, like MMR is without a doubt a number. It is all it is a number that you were assigned.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Currently, Riot uses the True Skill system, and then in the future they're switching to True Skill 2. I don't know if that's happened yet. Which is a matchmaking system designed for MMOs. True Skill 2 is designed for MMOs. True Skill 1 was designed for FPSs and combat games and action games, because the way True Skill works is originally it takes into your performance. So how many kills, how many deaths you have, how many assists you have, and it also shows your impact on the game. So how many objectives you taken, what's your timing, how much gold have you been making, what's your CS. Those are all the factors that get put into your MMR. They
must have changed it because
that's always been the case from True Skill 1.
They must have changed it recently, because I would say this. I've noticed what I'm complaining about more than ever, more recent in the past 2 seasons, I want to say, than I ever noticed that. I've never seen the imbalance of teams the way I see it recently.
No, they haven't changed it yet. There's always been the case. True Skill has been there since season 6.
Well, that is, I don't know. Maybe
they're putting in True Skill 2, which is just True Skill 1, just taking into more factors of like, oh, how much lane presence you have, how much jungle presence do you have, how much ward controls do you have, taken into all these minute factors. All that is going to do is just change your number. It isn't going to affect anything else. All it is going to change numbers, because that's what MMR is, just a number. How you figure out that number is a whole bunch of minutiae things, but I will say this: the more things you add to change the number of MMR, one, the harder it is to get people of the same skill level together, and the harder it is to make sure each team is balanced to that. Okay, so there is no perfect system because the game is too complex to allow that.
I agree. I mean, it's never gonna be a perfect system. It's always up to the individual, because you can have somebody just trolling just for the hell of it because they want to, just because they have a high MMR, and regardless of the reason. I do like the personal performance that does affect your MMR. I believe that if you play a good game, like I just played the last game, I had a S- in a losing battle. Like there's nothing I can do, because sometimes team comp matters. So I like the changes, if they're gonna make that changes where they include personal performance to maybe limit how much you lose the number, how much you gain, whatever the case may be, than just how it is right now. And I think that's probably why I asked for the solution. And that's a step to the right direction, at least in terms of fixing it.
I'm glad you pointed that out. I was gonna say though, if you're in a losing streak, right, and your personal performance, it's still good. Like let's say you get 8 kills, only 2 deaths, you had like 6 assists, whatever like that. It should put you in losing lobbies with players that are doing the same thing. You understand? So like I understand the rating, and I guess that's but you still lose as much LP as you would for losing a normal game or more. Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is that's what frustrates me the most, is because of how the ELO system is affected by you losing. And when you go on a losing streak,
ELO is not in the game.
It's not?
Elo is a type of MMR system that is designed by chess. Elo is just the number
I thought that
you
used to
get.
be the old system.
It used to be the original system.
I'd rather go back to Elo.
No, it is the worst MMR system in the world. It's designed for chess. It is designed literally.
I didn't notice it being this bad. I hate this version more than I hate that version.
You
I
will
literally
be-
told you.
Yeah, Elo is literally a number. Elo is your rank, but only based on win and losses. It has no judgment on what your performance is or any of that. Did you win the game or did you lose the game? That affects your number. That is Elo.
So they're doing a combination of it with MMR now.
Yes.
That's what you guys are saying.
The true scale
The MMR
is
is
Elo
Mm-hmm.
as well as your performance.
All right. So then let me ask you this, Gerard. Can they integrate it that you're losing lobbies that you get placed in? You don't get placed in. Because I've looked at some of my teammates' past records when I get fucking shellaxed. And they've been like 1-9, 1-8 the previous games. But I had a good performance in my previous games, but I'm still being paired up with these kids that are getting smacked the hell out of. So can they integrate something like, huh?
I mean, of course they can integrate it, but then you have to. It becomes, and here's my third point. So I did say I have 3 points. The second point was what Mike said, whereas like high MMR people could just decide to troll and then just bring down your lobby because either they were wronged or they just felt like it.
That's toxicity. We talked about that.
Yeah. So, but the third point I would like to bring up is that there is no way to make an entire lobby, even if they have the same MMR, even if I grabbed 10 Plat 4 players of the same MMR, that game still might end up being a landslide. One team might just destroy the other. Because, again, you have to take in the human element that each person could just be performing team could just be performing really well. And that extra elements, like, let's say they're on a losing streak. Let's say you are on a losing streak, but you're doing well. You've been positive all your games. You get teamed up with people who are higher rank, but they're on losing streaks as well, but they've been performing horribly. Then the other team has winning streak, but they're all lower rank. They're all gold, and they're a lower MMR. Who do you think wins? Is it the people on the winning streak, but that have lower MMR, or the people who have higher MMR, but on a losing streak? There's no way to determine that because they might just turn up that one game, and then that would be like, oh, my MMR is going to prove that I'm just going to smack these golds around. Or the gold players will get higher LP because they beat plat players who are on a losing streak. And then it's like, oh, it's destined to happen because they made the lobby that way. I was like, again, the way the MMR system is designed is 1, to challenge you, but 2, to allow you to grow as a person. They want you to take either lower elo or fight against higher elo to make sure that you as a person are always growing and that you are challenged. Because the reason why people make Surf's accounts is because they don't like to be challenged.
I don't mind the challenge, Gerard, but don't make the challenge feel impossible is what I'm saying. And at times when you're in a losing streak, this is what I mean by, so if you make a lobby, right? It's a losing lobby, right? On both sides. Let's just say both sides.
Right.
But all of them put up positive numbers, had good rankings in each game. That's what I mean. Can they do a system like that? So
No.
because it's more tilting when you get paired up with players that you know you're far better than, and you lose to them because your team is far less, capable of beating them.
Are you talking in a pregame before you even play the game? Because again, human element.
No. I get that. I get that.
Does have a difference. So
I'm just trying to see if I'm trying to explain it.
You think you're better than somebody pre-game just based on their ranking? Because you think personally you're a platinum player, you should be better than.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like you played the game, you realize you lost, right? But then you look at your stats, then you look at your teammates' stats, and then you like just dig through their history to see what they've been performing like, and then you're like, why the fuck did I get these fucking teammates, bro? That's not fair to me. And then you look at the other team, and they were like, that's what I mean by like you get set up for failure at times. And that's not a challenge at a point. That's not being challenging at that point. That's just being unfair to the player.
Here is the reason why I don't think you can do that. 2 reasons.
Okay.
One, queue times would increase because then you would have to wait for people of your appropriate skill level to matchmake. And that actually may never happen.
I wouldn't care. That's me personally. I'd rather the most fair competition and even competition. That's me. I understand people, I want to play now. I get it. But I come from the old school days. I remember when we had queue times of 3-4 minutes on average. I didn't give a shit.
This you're talking about Korean queue times, which is 2 hours. You're talking about 2-hour wait. You are talking about you are not getting platinum level. You're not getting.
Yeah, they gotta wait 2 hours.
Diamond League. They have there's this. Well, not Korea. No. Excuse me, China. They have a super server, which are only people who are diamond and above, or is either diamond or masters, that play on that. They wait 2 hours for their games.
But I'm talking about in realistic, where more average players fall in between silver and plat.
Yes,
there's a bigger pool. There's a bigger pool there.
Yes, but we're talking in China, billions of people compared to our even a billion. And then we have to already separate based on rank and MMR, and then you want to add a third one on what your current conditions are, because
how about priority lanes that doesn't get picked? So
exactly,
you have to gauge that too. So you want to wait 2 hours just to find.
But they have
people?
autofilled already for that.
But everyone who autofills can't be autofilled again. They have autofill protection for that reason.
Yeah, but only for like a game or two.
And then that's it.
Yeah, which means that you will play a game and then have to wait, because not everyone, there's not a lot of people who have the same skill level, same rank, and same performance. There's too many filters that you have to go through here.
Playing at the same time.
Playing at the same time as you, who have the same latency as you.
So unrealistic.
There's so many filters that you have to do. At a point, you might as well just play casual.
Maybe.
Carry harder, Gio. That's all.
Yeah, honestly, look. Okay, but there's my second point. Are you saying you're incapable 1-9? Because there are like games out there where there are champions out there that literally can carry the game by themselves. Literally 1v9 everything. Fiora is a good example. Literally, if she is not camped, she will take over the game. She will win. KO's another example. You just need to live to 18 and you win. That is how strong some champions are.
But I've also seen people that play those champs have 30 kills and still lose the freaking game.
Yes, because they are not responsibly... They're not responsibly going for objectives, okay? Because there are proper times, and how you use your leads is how you win games. If you have 30 kills, great. You have a lot of gold. How do you utilize that? Well, you prevent the other team from getting objectives. You choke them out of the game. You go, KO, you take their top jungle. Guess what? Jungle doesn't have any gold.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's when I noticed the difference in my competition versus who I'm playing with. Because not even because of stats per se, just objective oriented, especially when it comes to League. You got to be objective oriented. The ready to win the game is objective. So, like when you're calling for objectives, the teams that don't rotate, the teams that have no map awareness,
they lose.
Yes, absolutely. And you could be the most map aware person. You could be the most objective driven, and you still get dragged down by the team. And that's extremely tilting when it happens game after game after game.
Yes.
And that's when I say, at some point, that MMR system should realize that you're not
how many objectives did your team take in the last 5 games? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
that's another metric. That's making it more complicated.
Exactly, another filter. And also, there's some.
I told you I didn't want to do this topic because I hate MMR anyway.
It's like. I'm going to leave this off. This is the last point. For objectives, which is what the game is about. The game is literally about objectives. There's no quantum way to make that a number. Because, yes, what if your team took 5 objectives and won the game? great. But that was jungle doing that. You had no participation whatsoever. You were a bot lane that was bot the entire time. That is not. You are like now buffing up your stats because of what the other team did, or vice versa.
That's not true.
You yourself took.
They show you how many towers you take and objectives you take. They
I
show
know,
you what.
But I understand. But if I'm bot lane as I'm at ADC, I'm stay bot the entire time. Guess what? Of course I'm gonna take the next bottom 2 fucking turrets, cause I'm always there. I'm going to take those turrets. Then I lose the game because the other team took 1 Baron and just smashed us. Their 1 objective is more important than the 2 turrets I took, but I technically took more objectives than them. Vice versa, let's say we did not lose a single turret. All right, our team did not lose a single turret. We smashed all their turrets. Okay, we take all the way to their nexus, and it's very late game. We try to take Baron. They kill us at Baron, take Baron, and go down mid and win. How do you quantify who had better objective control? Because technically speaking,
there's metrics in the game, like because they could tell you. Like kill to objective conversions and stuff like that. They do that. They already do those metrics.
That doesn't matter if I lose because I lost 1 objective. Timing and knowing which objectives to take is a human element, and that you can't put that in a number.
All right, so here's what I'm going to say. Last thing, I'm going to preface it this way. I'd rather go back to Elo, and I'll say this why. Because it is easier to report and identify somebody that's boosted when you say, yeah, they'll be stuck in platinum with you the whole time, whatever. Yeah, but it's really identifiable and easy for even me to report it in the game to identify it when they see their track history of being 1-11, 12 or 1-12, 1-13 every freaking game. Like, yeah, that definitely got boosted. There's no reason he should even be in there.
Have you never had a day where you've been negative all day? Have you never had that happen? Have you never played 5 games where you just could not go positive? That's a lie, because I remember a time that you...
I could say that, yes. But what I'm saying is...
How many games does it take before someone figures out...
There's being negative, Gerard, and then there's just contributing nothing. If you're 1-11 with 0 assists, but you're 1-11 with 25 assists, you know what I mean? That's different.
You could also... like. People could be having bad games, and the difference between bad and just having feeding or being boosted is the line is too thin. It's hard, even with the Elo system, which is actually harder to figure out if they're boosted or not, because you don't keep track of performance at all at their number. Because
you still have match history. You still always had match history. They can look through your match history.
Elo doesn't take that into account, though.
No, I'm saying not the Elo system, but I'm saying is if you run into those players, it's easy to report them and block them and not ever have them in your lobby again.
You can block them, yeah, I guess, but like, sure, you block one person. There is millions of people like that person. You're going to have to go through millions of games.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
MMR.
Exactly. You're going to go through and you're going to still see the problem, no matter what. You're going to see the problem, no matter what system you run into.
I think it's more of a psychological thing than for me. Like, if I don't see other plat players, I feel like you set me up for failure. Or if you don't see him set me up with other gold players, I feel like you set me up for failure. Maybe it's just a psychological thing.
Maybe I would a mindset that you should look at previous stuff and play the game that you're playing currently to adjust to be able to see. Because sometimes you it seems like you're blaming everybody else's.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I play bad games, and I'm
not saying that I don't tilt and just start playing bad and then start getting toxic, because I do.
All right. I think we've talked about the MMR system. We talked about League way too long. Overall, just final point I wanted to make is that the MMR systems and other games are just like this. We use League of Legends as an example, but there are other systems and other games out there that use very similar MMRs, and specifically the True Skill 2 system that is coming to League. So all these examples we make will be probably comparative to other games. With that being said, leave a comment down below if you believe MMR is broken, or any game that you think could be as an example of what a good MMR system is. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll hopefully see you next time. Peace.
Later.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Part-Time Gamers podcast. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And follow us on our other social platforms on TikTok, Instagram, and Discord. Links for those will be provided in the description. Thank you again. We will see you on the next episode of the podcast. And make sure you make some time for video games. Peace.